Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Last week, I reviewed the first episode of Loki. I thought it was absolute trash. I thought it was boring. I thought that it was unfunny. I thought that it completely disrespected the Marvel Cinematic Universe that came before it, made a mockery of the Infinity Stones. The whole predestination stuff was just absurd. Getting rid of free will from your life. I had lots and lots and lots of issues with it. Never mind the tokenization, of course. The timekeepers, whatever you want to call them. It was dreadful. I just thought it's absolutely dreadful. The review did well, and it was good to see that there was some people that wanted to argue against that, and they had their own arguments. The day that I released the review, of course, I had a great conversation with Robert Meyer Burnett on my What Toys stream, where Robert, who really liked the episode, and me, who hated the episode, we debated our points back and forth, and it was approximately an hour of the show, but it was great to be able to discuss with somebody in a normal manner what us geeks love to discuss, which is, you know, why we like something and dislike something, and produce our counterpoints and evidence and all that sort of business. So that was wonderful. I gotta say, folks, I'm absolutely shocked, because episode 2, after the first episode that I hated, it came along, I watched it, and I was like, holy cow, this is actually still really shit. Still absolute garbage. How I managed to keep awake in this episode is a mystery, one that I have not been able to solve to date. The show bored the absolute ass off me. It was, again, unfunny. Loki, again. And this is one of the arguments that I heard back, because last week I said that Loki was being mocked in his own show, belittled in his own show. And some people were like, well, he's mocked and belittled in the movies. In the movies, he's the villain. He's the villain in the movies. And he's not the main character. So if you want to belittle your villains, fine, because you want to elevate your main character in the process, hopefully. So it's all right to take a stab at him, no pun intended. But when he's fronting his own show, you've got to give him that respect, and you've got to make him that cornerstone. And they don't. The guy's a fucking cuck in this show. Everyone's just walking all over him like a doormat. And again, the faint praise that I can give is that Tom Hiddleston and Luke Wilson. There's the ice cream man again, coming to tempt me. No! No, thou shalt not pass. I think they're over there. They ain't come around yet. Those two guys are really trying their hardest with what they have script-wise. And they're trying to put in some really good performances. But the scripts and the situations that they're in are so dour and boring that I kind of feel sorry for them. I truly feel sorry for them. Let's just go through a few things, because I just want to forget this episode as quickly as humanly possible. We start off at some Renaissance fair back in 85 or something. A bunch of timekeepers just come waltzing in. They've identified Loki. Of course, they're being led by a slightly ethnic woman. That's where we are. You can't have any male leads anymore. They also not only made sure to make sure Loki was a doormat this episode, they also put Luke Wilson in his place as well. Mobius, they put him in his place. They made sure that he was second fiddle to a wahman as well. In actual fact, the whole message seems to be so far, men doormats, wahmans bestest. What, on a Marvel show? What a fucking surprise. What a boring surprise. So they go into this big top. It's a trap. Of course it's a trap, and I don't mean the trap in the May. One of the time officers gets mind controlled, she kills some of the others, and then she gets knocked out, and then Loki, other Loki, drags her into a time portal, kidnaps her. Of course, this is going to be female Loki. Spoiler alert, it's female Loki. We find out. That's the absolutely unshocking revelation in this episode. Loki, second Loki, is a woman. And also, better than our Loki. Fuck. Oh, so this is fucking hell. This is one of numerous scenes where people are sat down talking. Sat down talking, sat down talking, sat down talking. This time, Loki is talking to the Fallout computer and the Fallout comic character, which seems to be projecting itself because somebody really liked Fallout and doesn't have an imagination. They then give him a really bland timekeeper's outfit, which has variant in big letters on the back. They made sure to all have a laugh at how stupid Loki looked, by the way. They all, including fat wahmans, fat diverse wahmans of color, who of course is the leader of the, I don't know, the space cops. Fucking they wish. So they're trying to, they're going to go to the location. By the way, this is just eating up time where they're talking about absolutely nothing of interest. Eating up the clock. So they go to the Renaissance Fair. Eventually, how long into the episode? Way too long into the episode. They go into the, they said that they're going to plant a device which is going to wipe history. And when it wipes history, it wipes the people off as well. So, you know, they're just killing people as well, the time cops. They go into the big top. They expect the bodies. They see that one of them's been kidnapped. Loki does this whole speech about, oh, it's a trap. They're still here. They're waiting for you to leave the big top. I've worked this out because I'm the greatest Lokis ever. I'm so smart. It goes on and 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 fucking on and fucking on. And then Luke Wilson's just like, nah, he's bullshitting. Nah, he's bullshitting as people. And Loki is like, ah, got me. Fucking whatever. So they wipe time, they wipe those things off. The timekeeper's statues are shown as we go into the judge's office from the first episode, who's here to tell Luke Wilson that she's much better than him because she has a vagina and he has a penile. It's a great conversation which lasts forever. And yes, I'm being fucking sarcastic because it was boring. Boring. Sat down talking, boring. Sat down, stood around talking about nothing. Absolutely ruddy nothing. We find out just little scraps that there are various Lokis throughout time that they've been killing off or something because they're all variants or whatnot. And it's and the Loki that they're hunting, of course, is better than this Loki. You gotta make sure that that's always said. Walking and talking. It's like the fucking prequels. Hey, do you want to sit down at this desk and read some fucking files and talk for a bit? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, shall we? Let's sit down and talk. Let's go to a library. Let's press a dingy button. That's funny because it doesn't work. The dingy button doesn't work. That's a funny, folks. Ha ha ha. It's not funny. It's just shit. Reading files, reading files, reading files, reading files. Loki cries again because he sees a file on Ragnarok where nearly 10,000 Asgardians died. That was the casualties, about 9,700 people or something. So Loki has a cry. Oh my God, look people, Loki's crying again. Isn't that beautiful? Such depth, much don't care. So Loki, by the way, I ain't even kidding here, folks. We're nearly halfway through the episode. And fucking jack fucking shit has happened. Apart from other Loki has nicked a person through a freaking time portal. So, it's time for some more sit down and fucking talking. So Loki explains over about 15 minutes that he thinks that the other Loki is hiding in cataclysmic events because the cataclysmic event is always going to happen and wipe off whatever it's going to wipe off. So if you go there and you muck about, you won't create any divergent strands because history is just going to wipe everything off the map anyway. And it goes on, and he tries to explain it by nicking the guy's food and putting salt and pepper in his food. It's funny. It's not. It's not funny. It's not even remotely funny. Doing this, like you're fucking whacking off two guys to your face, when you got food below because you're doing salt and pepper, that's not funny. That's not funny. Oh, God, this show goes on and on and on and on and on. So they go to Pompeii. We're now about halfway through the frickin' episode. And nothing has happened. So Loki runs around Pompeii and says, "Hi everyone, I'm Loki, I'm from the future. Goats, be free." Isn't that funny? No, it's not funny. I'm Loki and you're all gonna die because that volcano is gonna erupt, but I'm from the future so I can tell you all of this. Ha ha ha, I'm so funny. And they went, "Oh yeah, look, there's no divergence in the timeline." Boom. Pompeii explodes, they're all going to die, and then they go back through the portal, obviously, and everyone dies. So they decide that this is a really good time to sit down and talk again. To sit down and fucking talk, and sit down and 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 fucking talk. Then they go back to the library. Oh, this is such a fun episode. Oh my God, somebody strap me down. I'm having so much fucking fun. Sorry, I've had 3 fucking monsters today, all right? I've had 3 monsters because I knew I have had about 3 hours sleep and I knew that I was going to have to review this and I wanted to do other videos and I got a stream tonight. So I might be slightly wired, okay? So they go to the evidence locker or the library, whatever, and they see that Loki left behind some chewing gum. And they're like, that's not by accident. This must be a clue. This must be a clue. So then he goes back to his boss's office to sit down and talk. And then after they've sat down and talked, they want to get a task force together. And then they're going to go to this place in 2050 or somewhere that, by the way, got wiped off the map because of global warming. Had to stick a little bit of that in. How dare you? Greta Thunberg would be proud. This was wiped off the map because of, like, global warmings. Okay. And that's where they think the other Loki is hiding. Diverse fat bitch is leading the charge, and Luke Wilson gives Loki his daggers just in case. But she takes them straight away and says, no chance. Fuck men. So they go to the place in the future, 2050, and they go into a convenience store. Yeah, these locations are they're blowing my mind, people. I know. Are your minds blown? I know. Are you having fun yet? I know I am. They go into the convenience store. Everyone's wet, but Loki uses his magic because now he's back on Earth. So he has his magic back to just dry himself off. He doesn't use his magic ever again, even when he gets into a bunch of fights. But don't worry about that. He decides to use other things instead of magic, like a vacuum cleaner. So Luke Wilson wants Loki to go with him, but fat diverse woman says, no, you're coming with me. Other Loki, female Loki, sets a 20-minute timer. Whatever. They meet a guy and they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm shopping for flowers. And they're like, in the middle of a hurricane? And he's like, yeah, they're 50% off. Are you laughing yet? Are you laughing at the funny jokes yet? No. Oh, good, because I wasn't. Because I just thought, this is fucking stupid. And it turns out this guy is mind controlled by Loki, who then goes in mind controls fat diverse woman, where of course she spars verbally with Loki, and Loki is of course considerably worse than her. This white guy is being horrible to people because he's white. We then go back to more stood around and talking. And then Loki transfers himself into Randy here. And they talk. And Loki's like, I've got to be smarter than you because I found where you are. And then they're like, ha, whatever, you can think that, but I've done all of this. Set all these traps, blah, blah, blah. I'm the greatest, yada, yada, yada. They find the woman that got kidnapped. She tells them that she's given up all the secrets of the timekeepers to Loki, so that Loki, the other Loki, female Loki, by the way, now knows where the space lizards are. There's some walking and talking, and then female Loki transfers herself into different people, and they start fighting. And Loki just gets his ass kicked all over the place because he's shit and a cuck in his own show. Doesn't use his magic, doesn't do anything like that whatsoever. Then we have the amazing reveal. Oh my god, the female Loki has taken a bunch of those timey thingies which reset time. And she's planted a bunch of them in this place. She's setting them all off at once. So it's causing a bunch of divergent timelines. Oh my god, panic everyone, panic. So the timekeepers are all running towards that. Then we get the reveal. The other Loki is female. She's a wahman. Can we get a wahmans, please? Can we get a wahmans? There we go. She's a wahmans. And she's better than our Loki because she's got different magics, new magics. It's now cuck Loki versus third wave feminism Loki. So all of that goes off, and then Loki decides to follow female Loki into one of the time portals. And they're like, Loki, don't, but he does. And then it ends. Fucking nothing happened. 50 odd minutes this episode is. What happened? They could have crammed into 20 minutes. But they dragged it out with sitting and talking and sitting and talking and sitting and talking about nothing. The show is boring. Boring to tears. If you like it, good on you. Congratulations. It's shit. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links, they're in the description box down below. I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.